Hi, everybody. My name is Tim Heidecker, and welcome to this very special presentation from the High Network, Deck of Cards, What Went Wrong. I want to thank the Amato Group for allowing us to use the Amato Banquet Hall here for this, what I hope to be productive and constructive conversation. I think it's going to be frank. I think it's going to be honest. But we want to get to the bottom of the issues that happened with the TV show Deck of Cards that premiered earlier this year on the High Network.
Actually a movie.
And all right, let me welcome our moderator, Joe Estevez here.
Well, I'm happy to host. I'm glad to be here.
Moderate. Just going to be, it's just moderate.
Moderate. Sure. Yeah. Two of my favorite people here in the world, and it's glad to share some water and some ideas with you guys and kind of clear the air, huh? Clear the air.
You know, ironically, we decided to call this experience Deck of Cards, What Went Wrong. The title should be Deck of Cards, What Went Right, because a lot of things did go right.
What went wrong was him agreeing to be one of the stars of the thing.
I'm
and then
setting up the conversation, and I haven't even introduced you
before we
yet.
even
So
got
mind
to
your tongue.
most of his
Hold your
scenes.
tongue. You're going to have an opportunity to speak your piece. But I'm queuing this up so that people at home understand why we're here and why we're doing this. Because there's been a lot of bad blood and a lot of negativity getting thrown around over the Deck of Cards TV show.
Not about my scenes.
Yeah.
No, well, you've not been asked to speak yet. I want to welcome.
And you know,
And I've not turned it over to you to official hosting. This is the opening, my opening statement.
Okay.
So stay in your lane on this.
Yeah. All right.
And when we begin to discuss the specifics, you'll be prompted to begin that conversation.
Okay.
All
But
right.
you know, with a kind of host slash a referee, I guess, or
I would consider you a moderator.
moderator.
The idea that you
moderator,
are the
okay.
host doesn't make any sense.
But after you took over Deck of Cards, why would someone expect you wouldn't take over Deck of Cards, What Went Wrong?
We're going to get to all that and more. Join us now for the next half hour as we discuss Deck of Cards,
You
What
didn't
Went
say
Wrong.
this was half an hour.
How do you want to begin, Joe? How do you want to get this conversation started so it doesn't turn into a yelling back and forth?
Yeah.
You understand? You have to control the narrative here.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you showed up, Joe, since you didn't show up for the filming of Deck of Cards.
Whoa, that's
we're not.
That's a pretty that's a pretty interesting
why?
way to start the day here.
You know why he didn't show up to the Deck of Cards?
Well,
because
you know,
you know what, Joe? We got our own.
I would like to know.
I can speak for
Pardon
myself.
me, Joe. You and I have our own shit that we got to get through, and we have got a lot of that shit. But I'm putting that shit on hold.
Okay, all right.
Because the one thing I know about you, I said you're the great Joe Estevez. I'm not bullshitting you.
I appreciate
because
that.
you're
Thank
a
you
great
so
actor.
much.
That's the lane you should stay in.
Well,
Okay, you don't.
Thank you, sir.
You don't have a head for business, and that's my mistake for putting that on your shoulders.
Well.
And you nearly ruined me, but that's a conversation we're going to have at another point. But the reason he didn't show up for the Deck of Cards is because he knew what it was, and he knew that it was not going to work, and that it was not a part that he should have anything to do with, and it wasn't a production that he should have anything to do with.
Just let me say, I mean, you gentlemen, you know, you have been friends for years and years, and you certainly had your disagreements. But, you know, I think you agree on a lot of things, too. So maybe we can find where we agree first and you know, kind of travel lightly on the things you don't agree
Well, let's get
with.
to the facts.
Yeah.
The facts are this. Last year, Greg Turkington announced that he was going to be making a Deck of Cards movie featuring the Joker from the Deck of Cards, not the Batman Joker. From what we understand, Greg Turkington wrote a script and shot a test scene with you playing the King of Hearts.
Yeah.
Further work went into the script. several months passed. Greg wrote what I saw, the last draft that I saw was something around 20, 25-page script.
It was 30 pages. It was 30 pages.
Extremely, doesn't matter how many pages. From what I could tell, was a 20, 30-point font, so it's large font. If you had done it at 12-point font, you'd probably be looking at excuse me.
Sorry.
You'd be looking at a 5 or 6-page script. It was not formatted as a script should be formatted. If you've looked at any script in the past, you would have seen dialogue broken out in certain ways. This was just narrative prose. There was an agreement when I purchased the VFA that held me to funding or producing or releasing
Which you violated.
one VFA production per year. When I received the rushes, people call them rushes, the dailies, we could see, and this was my concern when I saw the script, was that there was not enough footage to constitute a movie or a TV show
Because
or
we weren't
anything
finished.
else.
Yeah.
You can't walk into a movie
I
production
immediately,
when we're still
I'm just laying out
filming
the facts.
and say it's not
This is not your
finished.
opportunity to contradict my facts,
now,
and
Tim,
this is not the opportunity
Well,
for us to argue about the opinions on what we should or shouldn't have done. I'm laying out the facts.
Tim, we got to.
Joe, I'm not done laying out the facts. When I'm done, I'll turn it to you, and you can ask the first question.
But you're never going to be done.
We had an emergency meeting at the High Network. Myself, Giamotto, and others sat around and said, our ass is on the line. We have agreed to release whatever this is, whether you call it a movie, a TV show, whatever. We are on the line to put this out this year, and we have nothing.
We
have
never
nothing
needed
we
you
can
to
show.
do it. I had my own financing from Pop Secret,
let him talk
and nobody
for another
minute.
needed you to be involved. The thing was going great until you got involved, and that's when you aborted what we had been working on. We were still in the middle of filming this thing, and you came in and took it over.
If I'm not gonna be allowed-
Giamotto has nothing to do with any of this. I don't know why.
If I'm not going to be allowed
Yeah.
to lay out the timeline of this thing in chronological order, and we're going to start getting into bickering, this is what you're here
Tim,
for,
I
Joe,
think in all due
then I'm going
respect,
to walk off, and
no,
we are not going to
don't
have
do
this
that. Don't do that.
conversation because I have nothing to apologize for.
Well, let's just let.
And nothing went wrong.
Yeah. Let's just let Greg, present his side of the story, and then we'll
Let me finish. The fact is, you didn't have a middle, you didn't have an end, and you were going to put something that would have gone 6 or 7 minutes.
We had an
and
end.
half of which featured unlicensed MGM material, and it featured music that we had no rights to, and it featured a dance sequence that nobody wanted to watch.
Well, now, as they say, there's always two sides to every story. So, Greg, why don't you present your side and what you feel went right and what you feel maybe didn't go
the
quite so right.
jitterbug scene went right, and that's actually, if you read the reviews of Deck of Cards, and there's lots of them, they don't mention J.J. Denneker. They talk about the jitterbug scene and what a treat that was for Oz heads and for movie buffs. That's the scene that people like. Now, we actually had quite a few more scenes in that vein, but at the point you stepped in, we still had money to shoot for a couple more days, and we were doing great work. And as to your point about we didn't have an end, we actually had the end. In the end, I identified who kidnapped the King of Hearts, which was the 4 and the 9 of spades. That was the climactic end to the whole movie. The only part that we needed to shoot still was the middle. We had a few scenes. There was going to be a battle between all the red cards and all the black cards on the battlefield. And this was going to be one of the biggest scenes in movie history, with 52 actors doing battle on a field.
You had no plan for that.
No, we did.
You had no
It was
plan for
all
that.
scripted.
You had no
It was
money
all
for that. You can
choreographed.
script whatever you want. You could script you landing on the moon. But if you don't have the funds, you don't have you spent all the top secret money.
I had people lined up to play these cards.
No,
we had most of the costumes made. But you didn't give us a chance. When the weekend
I'm
came,
not going to throw money in the. I'm not going to throw money down the drain.
I can't shoot every day.
I'm not going to throw money down the drain.
Sunday was an off day. That was a day for us to recalibrate and get ready to start shooting again on Monday. And then you stole all the footage and stole all the.
I didn't steal nothing.
Before we could
I don't
finish
want to
it.
be accused.
We also
I'm not
had.
going to sit here and be accused of stealing something
But
that's
you did
mine.
steal it.
I
It
didn't
wasn't
steal
yours.
anything.
Hey, guys,
I paid for it.
I paid for it with
You
my
paid for
money.
nothing.
I paid for the whole
You
thing.
paid for nothing.
With a
Oh,
top
guys,
secret.
wait,
Oh,
wait,
did
wait.
you win a
Yeah.
Did you win a movie trivia contest? Did
You
you
wasted
win anything
that,
for Pop
that- that-
Secret?
the money.
What
you,
contest did you win?
The Pop Secret money went into the shitty scene that you had with Joe in it. Okay,
Well,
and
you
then
know,
it was
now,
gone.
Now, wait a minute.
And the rest of it went
yeah,
from tapes or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
else.
yeah.
And this is bullshit. And you don't know what
and
you're
I
talking
had another
about.
character, Joe.
yeah.
I had another character that would have been great. That you would have been lucky to act opposite, which
Yeah.
would have been the
No.
ace. The ace
Let me
of
tell you-
diamonds, who's the chauffeur for the two of diamonds, who's the most popular character in the whole thing, not the King of Hearts, because you weren't in it enough
let me
to be
tell you-
popular. Not J.J. Denneker,
Well,
who no
you-
one likes. The ace of diamonds was the chauffeur, British chauffeur who drives around the two of diamonds as they explore the pubs in the British countryside while trying to track down the kidnappers who kidnapped the King of Hearts.
It sounds
Okay,
awful.
now,
It does.
just,
It sounds like bullshit and a waste of time. What I did, what Mr. Amato and others did, people that I trust who actually
Mr.
understand.
Amato
Tim, there
processes
must have been
waste.
some good
He's
things
not a filmmaker.
that you
He
saw in
processes
this,
waste.
in this script that you put your money, time, and
I
talents into.
was
That-
intrigued.
What brought you into
I was
this?
intrigued by a couple things, and I'll tell
Yeah.
you why.
The first
I'll
ever
tell you
movie
why.
based on the famous deck of cards. That is a great
that's a-
property,
that's a good
which
idea.
I
Yeah.
acquired, and you wanted to get your grubby
Well, there was
hands all
Alice in
over.
Wonderland, but we.
But
Agree
that's
with
not
that.
called deck of cards.
No, it's not. You're right.
Here's what I liked. I liked that we had a world of cards that you created, and I'm going to give you credit for that.
Yeah.
That there was a kingdom.
See, we agree on that. So
Yeah.
we're
that there-
finding things we can
Let-
agree
Joe,
on here.
Joe, let me please speak.
Okay. All right.
You have a cup of flour. You got a cup of milk. You got an egg. Okay?
Okay.
That's
Cake.
sitting on a table.
That's a cake.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
What is
So
that?
far,
Cake. I
No,
just
it's
said-
not
I
cake
said-
to me.
Yeah.
It's eggs, water, and flour.
Right. Right.
Okay?
Yeah, but you're going to.
You're looking at that
You're
saying
not going to
that's
eat a cup
cake.
of flour.
It's milk.
Well, no, you're not. You're going to mix it, and you're going to bake it, and put salt and a little sugar and all other ingredients that it needs to be a great
And
cake.
that's what I was going to do the next week before
But you
stole the
had no
footage.
plan to do that.
I just
you wanted
told
the
you
audience.
I had the ace of
You
diamonds.
wanted the audience. You wanted the high network subscribers. You wanted to delude them into thinking that
I don't want
a
to show
cup
it on the
of-
high network.
if
this
you
was
guys
supposed to be
put your
movie
great
theaters. We don't want this on the
creative-
high
If you're going to
network.
yell, if
mo-
you're going to lose control,
No,
if you're going to yell,
yeah.
then we're going to
No,
end this
th-
conversation.
No, we won't. Well, yeah, you know,
We're
look,
going to end this conversation
Yeah,
if you raise your voice to me
If
again.
you guys can put your great creative minds together,
Which we
with
did in a
one
way,
purpose-
Joe.
Well, maybe
we did in a way, because what Greg did was created a world. Created a world of cards.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that was all
And
he
that was
did.
good. I mean, that's a good idea. That's a
And what
solid
I did
idea.
was I was the stitch, I was the glue, I was the oven in the cake metaphor. I was
Yeah,
the mixing
we're
bowl,
introducing the
and I
oven
was
now.
the oven,
Okay, all right.
which combined them all together to tell a captivating story that was about something that matters, which is personal freedom.
But my
And-
understanding,
You were the guy that-
There's no message
You
in
were
there.
the guy. You were the guy
You
that
already
took,
put your cake in the oven, right?
No, he's the guy
When he
that,
came.
that took a thing of salt and dumped it in the
It's too
cake,
much
thinking
salt.
it was sugar, and ruined the whole cake.
Oh, well, that's
what
not-
you
Let me
did.
tell you what a
Nice
fact. Let me
analogy.
tell you a
It's a
You made a
bad
fact.
salt
analogy.
cake.
Let me tell you a
made a
fact.
salt cake.
He
Let me
sold
tell
it.
you a fact. Audiences want to see a compelling story that's actually about something where something actually happens. And that's what we did.
Did you like at least the driving scenes that he put in? Did you kind of like those?
Those were okay. That
Okay,
was all-
well, see, now we
What
got
about
something there
let
that
me bring this up,
we're
and I'll tell
agreeing
you
on.
something. I'll tell you something.
yeah.
This was a phone call I received yesterday.
Uh-oh.
I don't know the gentleman's name. He's a producer in Wisconsin, I believe. He's affiliated with the Wisconsin University Film Department.
Yeah, yeah.
He reached out. He said, I just want to say, Mark Porch in Deck of Cards, Ben Franklin, Einstein,
Mummy.
Rush Limbaugh. We love those performances, and we are working on putting together a movie.
What's
and
this
we wanna
professor's name? I don't believe this.
I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to put him in a position that he has.
Because it's not real.
This 100% is
What's
real,
his
Joe.
name?
Yeah.
Ask you is-
Universities don't
well,
make movies. Paramount Pictures makes
yeah.
movies. Warner Brothers. Joe's,
This is gonna be a
Joe's
big
made
movie.
400 movies. Have you ever made a movie that was a university was making the movie?
Well, I did actually
Yeah.
one. Yes, I did. It didn't go very far, but
Mark's performance in the second half of Deck of Cards has lit a fuse with people, and it is everyone's talking, and you don't see it in the first half, with his mummy, and he looks like he wants to kill himself halfway through, halfway through that performance. Suddenly a shift happens. You see Mark given opportunities to really perform and really do something wonderful. Look at his performance as Ben Franklin. Tell me that's not a great performance. It's not a great impression of, first of all, great impression of Ben Franklin, great impression of Albert Einstein. No one's saying differently, not even you.
Let me ask
I would
you
love
this,
to put you on a lie detector test. Shut up. I'd like to put you on a lie detector test and say, is that a great performance when he's doing Einstein? Is that a great performance when he is, in fact, doing Ben Franklin? All right? You would, you'd try to say that you didn't care for it, but you'd fail. Because I know what you know, and I know you know movies. I know you're an expert, and you have expertise in performance, okay? And Mark's performance there should win him an award, not an Oscar, an Emmy.
Now, who brought
An
Mark
Emmy,
Roach
they don't give
into the
Emmys to
film?
movies.
Did you bring
They
Mark
give
Roach into the
Oscars.
film?
Yeah, I brought
Well,
him in
see,
as
he
the
brought him
mummy.
in, so that's a
I also
big-
brought
that's a big
you,
plus
and
there.
you didn't continue, and I brought the Queen of Hearts, who you poached, and
Yeah.
Mark. You took two of my actors and put them in yours because you could see we were onto something good. And so you took my people.
I could see potential in what you built, what you began
and
to
if
build.
you'd let me
See, I
finish
like that.
it,
I like
But
where
I
this is
knew where
going
it was
now.
headed. I knew it was literally
Yeah.
the Titanic situation. With the Titanic situation, if you don't know the metaphor, Titanic, big boat, you know the movie.
Leonardo
Yeah.
DiCaprio,
And
Yeah.
Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
what the captain saw was the captain didn't see, in other words, the captain didn't see, he saw a little bit.
Well, don't
of
give away
iceberg,
the
but he
movie.
doesn't-
Don't
no.
give away the end of the movie.
The point is,
Yeah.
I could see disaster ahead with this, with
Well,
the finishing
listen,
this film. I came in like the USS Carpathian.
Carpathian, yeah. Yeah, in the middle of the
It
night.
saved 523 people, however many it is,
Yeah.
got
There's
them
a
off
lot.
the Titanic
There's a
and
lot.
saved their ass, and we got a great TV show out
Yeah.
of it.
It's a movie, and also you don't know. Your thing is okay. Okay, it's not the worst thing that I've seen, but
Well,
it's
I'm liking
certainly
where
not.
this is going
it's
now.
certainly not the
Yeah.
best.
You didn't find
but
the
you didn't
storyline.
see.
You didn't find
You
the
know what?
storyline
I
over
have the
time.
storyline,
Now,
and I'll tell you.
Oh, okay, here we go.
This is what you guys need to get on
Release.
social media and call the news networks and
No,
movie buffs. Post this in local theaters on the marquee, because my cut, which features the Ace of Diamonds, the greatest new character
Well,
that
let
you
me just-
didn't see, because we had to see tired old J.J. Denneker that everyone is sick of, and also the battle between the cards, which was going to be bigger than the Titanic sinking. It's going to be one of the biggest scenes in motion picture history, just as the Jitterbug has made news headlines everywhere because it is scenes cut from The Wizard of Oz.
Well, let me just say this, and I don't
Joe,
wanna-
you've
I'm happy
seen The
you got-
Wizard of
excuse
Oz.
me.
Yeah, I have.
And you
I'm-
wondered, where's the Jitterbug when you saw it? Everybody wondered because the footage was lost. It was damaged by MGM, who didn't store it properly.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, yeah.
We
That's
shot that footage frame by frame, recreated it with our cast.
Yeah.
And now it's become a big news story.
Well, it's
Wow.
not,
Oh,
but
that's- yeah,
let me
yeah.
just,
No,
it is
there-
not.
I got an email from a guy in Singapore who knew all about this and was absolutely thrilled that the Jitterbug was restored.
All right, well, let me just
Is there
clarify.
going to be a deck of cards too?
Yeah.
Let me-
Yes.
No, let
Yes.
me just
Yeah,
explain.
It's going to be a whole universe, and I am going to bring the Ace of Diamonds that everyone wants to see, the
Well, what you're
chauffeur
gonna
for
have
the
to
Two
do-
of Diamonds, and we're going to feature him heavily in Deck
Well,
of
I
Cards
wish you
too.
luck.
And I'd love to have the King. I'd love to have the King of Hearts back, Joe, if you want to come to your
Well,
senses
you know,
and
I-
shoot
you
the
know.
restored scenes that we lost.
Let me explain
No,
something.
that-
I wish you luck.
We'll
on-
talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
I wish you luck on winning another contest, okay? Because that's the only way you are going to raise $1 or have funding beyond $1 to make another second in the Deck of Cards universe. So I wish you luck. Go buy as many bags of popcorn as you want, or whatever it is, or go down and buy the lottery. That's one option for you. Odds are not great that you're going to get another dollar in another contest. So
If
that
you
was your
hadn't
shot.
ruined this movie,
That was your shot.
I would have shown it in theaters and made plenty of money on the box
let
office.
me tell you this.
If I'd shown my version of this, box
Yeah.
office
Bring it out
numbers,
again. No, I wanna talk
the box
about this.
office numbers would be very good, and we would have all the money we need to
I
make
wanna-
another movie.
I wanna
That's
talk
how
about this.
all these, Star Wars,
wanna just-
they made money from the first movie,
this.
and
Let
they
me
used
just-
that to make the second
let me-
movie.
let me-
That's what we would have done, but you took my movie from me, and
Let-
now you're keeping all the money you
No.
get from these high subscribers so that I can't make Deck of Cards 2.
Let's be honest about this.
Or even finish this.
Let me explain this. Release the Turkington Cut. Hashtag Turkington Cut. Big online, big Twitter movement there.
Yeah.
People want to see the Turkington Cut. Guess what, folks? There isn't a Turkington Cut, okay? The footage has been destroyed. There is no other footage that Greg shot. Nothing, of course, there are some outtakes from the J.J. Denneker scenes, but there is no footage that exists because
But we were
it was
going to shoot
destroyed.
it. We
Well,
were
then-
going to shoot it.
But there is no Turkington Cut, so this hashtag is a complete joke, and you can
well-
you can forget about any option of getting your whatever Turkington Cut scene because it doesn't exist. Now, if you want to take little screenshots of your script and put that doodles and drawings and cut that together to show everybody the Turkington Cut, whatever that is. But what I did is I took a pile of shit and I turned it into something that we could put proudly on the High Network, and people got what they got out of it.
Yeah,
Some people
now
like
it's a
your-
pile. Now it's a pile of shit with J.J. Denneker standing in the center of the pile, rubbing it all over himself. That's not what people wanted.
people have
wanted
different
the
tastes.
Ace
You don't
of
know what
Diamonds.
people want.
People wanted the card
don't want-
battle.
all right,
People
we-
wanted the extended jitterbug scene. You say there's no Turkington Cut. We have an extended jitterbug scene. Extended. That goes on about 2 minutes more, and people love it. Our test audiences loved it.
Is there any way that you could see clear to working with Tim again in a positive way to get Deck of Cards 2 up and running?
Yeah, I could.
You guys, let's
I would love to
listen,
do that.
you know?
This
but
is-
not with J.J. Denneker.
People are happy to have J.J. Denneker back, so I don't think he's going anywhere. But season 13 of On Cinema is coming in October, October 26th. That's a big announcement. Season
October
13.
26th. Yeah, well, that's good news
Season
there.
13,
Yeah.
October 26th.
You're lucky 13.
I know you have commitments with the AMC network.
Yes,
but
I've been working with AMC. I'm sort of their resident expert now, but I am going to do some work
Well,
for Tim
congratulations
We're gonna
on
ask
that.
Greg
because
to
I'm a
come back
nice,
on.
nice
But,
person,
what
and
I
I have
wanted
a
to do
commitment
before
to the
this-
viewers to give them
Shut
what
up.
they want, which is film criticism.
Well,
not
that's-
J.J.
that's the lane
Denneker,
you
and
should
not
stay in.
Dakar,
You
and
should-
not DKR.
You should stay in your acting lane, Joe, and stay out of business.
yeah.
You should stay in the lane as a film expert and stay out of making films, because let me tell you, folks, what I saw from him, what you would not believe what the original version of Deck of Cards looked like. It was a complete mess. But I value your movie expertise, and you're very enthusiastic.
Oh, see there, that's
You're very
you know.
enthusiastic
Yeah.
about films,
Yeah.
and you seem to have tremendous
He's just
knowledge about the
widening
movies.
his lane here.
So,
So I think that's a.
I implore you to
good
stay
thing,
away from the creative side of filmmaking and
and
stay
then
in the-
we'll have no restored jitterbug, and the world will not be as nice of a place.
I think we're all going to be fine.
well.
But I appreciate you, Joe.
Yeah,
being
I
here
think
and
you guys
coordinating this.
accomplished a lot today. You got a lot, out there in the air, and
The good news is-
and hopefully you're. Can I get you guys to shake hands here? Is
No,
that
the
is
good
that
news
is that
is
is that can we shake hands here, you guys?
No, we're not doing that. The good news is I think J.J. Denneker has. We have a path now forward for several more J.J. Denneker projects. I like the idea of the Joker as a character. I'm not saying I don't want the Joker in this.
But what card is J.J. Denneker? The whole point of the Deck of Cards is it's a movie that's entirely cast by cards. What card is J.J. Denneker? What card is that?
In the film, we had a interesting workaround there where we had J.J. Denneker and we had the Jack of Diamonds. So
Yeah.
he is the Jack of Diamonds,
Well,
but
we'll
he is
keep the
J.J.
Jack of
Denneker.
Diamonds, but get rid of J.J. Denneker, and then maybe we'll have something.
I wonder if that old Jack of Diamonds song is you could use that Jack of Diamonds. I've known you by old. You robbed my poor pockets of money and gold. Well, maybe you're
sure.
too young for that, but
We would
you know
use
if there's
that.
no
The
rights
point
on
is-
it now. I mean, a lot of card songs out there that
point
you guys
is-
can use. Frankie Lane sings a lot of them. The man who robbed the bank in Monte Carlo. Cards.
Here's what went wrong. Here's what went wrong. If that's the title of this, here's what went wrong. And I'll lay this out and we can be done with this. We should never have pursued the acquisition of the VFA because one of the clauses in that agreement stipulated that we would take part in a VFA film production. That was something we were legally obligated to do. That's a big regret. If I hadn't agreed with that, if I hadn't agreed to that, we would not be in this position. But the positive side effect of that was that this was a lane to reintroduce J.J. Denneker to America and the world. So it's a win in that department. If you haven't seen Deck of Cards, I would suggest scrolling through the first 10 minutes. We might put out a
watch
cut.
the whole thing.
And in fact, we might
watch the whole thing. What's done is done. I'm not happy with how it went because I think that my version with the climactic battle would have been better. But at this point, it's locked in time as a movie, and you have to respect what it is now. Give what it is a chance, and a lot of people like what it is. It's not the way I wanted it, but I still think it's 5 bags of popcorn.
I was going to ask.
Well, there you go, and you know, and people waiting to see Deck of Cards 2, or what's the title you got for Deck of Cards 2?
Deck of Cards 2.
That's the title for this. Yeah. Well,
that's
that
not
works.
something that's going to happen on the High Network. And like I said earlier, I don't.
It
see
is,
any-
or it isn't?
It is not something.
No, we're going to probably do it with AMC.
It's always darkest before the dawn, so.
Well, let me look at a
you
script.
know.
If a script is more than 10 pages without a cartoon font or written in more of a prose
That was
style.
a rough.
Well,
that
I
was just
think
a
we can
rough
agree
script.
to talk again here, guys. I mean, I'd like that handshake. You know, can I have both of your hands here?
I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah,
in the
let's.
future.
Okay. All right.
Thank you
Love
for joining
guys,
us.
and
And you want to say you're hosting, so just to wrap things up.
You know, listen, I want to thank you guys. It was a very stimulating conversation. You cleared the air on a lot of things, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. All right. Thank you for tuning in, and have a great rest of the day, and take care.